So we're live. Welcome to another Storytellers Happy Hour. I'm Lisa Kastner. I'm the founder and executive editor and one of the multitude of amazing writers that we have at Running Wild among our four imprints now. Running Wild Press, Rise Press, Trompe-l'Oeil Press, and Junkyard Rooster Press. And I am here with you guys once a month with our phenomenal editor, Teehee Hazlett, who is the head of our Rise Press, and he'll be here in a few minutes. And we basically sit here, imbibe, and tell tall tales. And we typically use prompts for it, and Teehee usually brings them with him for us. So this is your chance to hear us just kind of talk BS. And then tomorrow, Sam Glove says, hey, everyone. Hey, Sam. Awesome to see you. So then don't forget, guys, you can also check us out tomorrow at, I believe, let me just double check. Tomorrow, yep, I'm right. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We will have 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will have another Run Wild with Us, Ask Us Anything. It's myself and several of our editors, including Peter Wright, who's in charge of Trompe-l'Oeil, and Benjamin White, who is in charge of Junkyard Rooster. And we basically are there to answer any questions that you have. It can be around editing, it can be around crafts, it can be around storytelling. It could be, honestly, whatever you want. So, but you can just join. All you have to do is put your question into the comment section of whatever venue you're watching us. We are on Instagram, live stream, YouTube, Twitter /X, and it's typically saved on those venues, on those platforms. So if you have questions or comments and you've missed it, you missed the live stream, you're just watching the recording, it's all good. You can just go ahead and put that question into the comments section because we always go back and check. So all that said, Sam says, my channel is about gloves, and I like to stay and watch the live stream if people wear disposable gloves, disposable plastic gloves, rubber gloves, cleaning gloves, surgical gloves on both hands. Well, that's kind of cool. That sounds fun. Admittedly, hey, Sam, why don't you do this? Why don't you put into this comment section, just put a link to where your channel can be found. And then that way folks can just go ahead and check it out. Cool? Cool. Awesome. All right. And now we have Teehee. Yay!
Sorry, I'm late.
Dude, you're
I had 6 hours of Zoom calls at work today.
Oh,
so I had to shut down the computer, but also had to take care of basic human stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yay!
Yay! How are you feeling? Are you okay?
I feel pretty good. I no longer have to think about very specific things that I spent all day thinking about.
I see.
So I'm good.
Got it. Do you need to go grab anything or do anything, or are you're good? Okay.
Nope. I got my beer. Woo! The coloring is weird. Woo! So there's probably going to be a thunderstorm, so I pre-closed the windows in my apartment, but they're stained glass windows.
Ooh.
So now I have this
you have this horror thing going on, which is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it looks really cool, and it kind of fits in the theme of what our storytelling happy hour for folks who might be tuning in for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm Ruben Teehee Hazlett. I'm the author of Orbital Bebop, which is coming out in March, through Rise, which is an imprint of Running Wild Press, run by the amazing Lisa Kastner. And once a month, me and Lisa do this show, our Storytelling Happy Hour, with some libations. Mm-hmm. And in the past, we used to like literally pull prompts out of a bag and like then just tell a story based on the prompt.
Mm,
So it's sort of very like off the cuff, and we don't know what's going to happen. We went through a whole deck of cards
we're very good at
that
this,
had different prompts on them. Yeah, yeah, because this is how long we've been doing this. But
right?
now I decided to come up with one or two prompts literally 5 minutes ago
Mm,
because it's the first day of October
okay.
and we do this once a month. So this is our one time to do a Halloween-ish type episode.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yay! Is
Yay!
Halloween your favorite holiday? What are your thoughts on Halloween?
Let me think about that. Well, Halloween's my favorite holiday, and my favorite season is the fall or autumn. So, yeah. Because I kind of feel like, and this will sound weird, like Halloween is the one holiday where people can be whoever and whatever they want to be without any kind of barriers. Like no one's telling them what to do. They can just do it. I don't know. I think that's cool. How about you? What's your favorite?
Yeah, Halloween is also my favorite holiday. And for a long time, I didn't get a chance to celebrate it really because I used to work in electoral politics, and elections
Mm,
are always in November. So October is like the hell month. And I never had time or energy to do Halloween.
yeah, yeah.
So I've been like really appreciative now of Halloween. I like when everyone dresses up because I think that it's kind of hard not to have fun when you're in a silly costume and you look around and everyone's in a silly costume. It's
Mm-hmm.
like there's what's better than that. So
That's
good. We're both Halloween people.
yay.
Yeah. Yay. So the prompt that I was thinking is your favorite all-time Halloween costume that
Mm.
you have executed
That was gonna be my follow up. Like that
or
I remember okay. Ooh, that's hard.
worn, not execute. I mean, executed as in like served a look maybe, but not that you've had to like make yourself.
Under Oh, okay, okay. Um, that's hard. That's really hard. 'Kay, hmm. I mean, the most so like when I was a kid, I actually don't remember any of the costumes from when I was a kid, like a child, you know. And when I was a teenager, I feel like a lot of the costumes that I wore were dependent on like what was hot in that time. So I have this tendency that if it's something I don't really care about, I don't remember it. Do you know what I mean? Like if I don't have a need to continue that memory or that I guess you could say emotional engagement, then I tend to have so many things going on at one time. It's like my brain goes, well, I don't need that, right? And so, um, and it's honestly, for the most fun I have now is I live across the street from an elementary slash middle school, and so on Halloween and like that whole period, a lot of times like I can just sit on my front porch with a big bowl of candy, and I mean the most amazing kids come through, and like you can always tell when these are costumes that were really like the mom and dad, like the parents' idea, versus it was the kid who was like, oh my god, I need to be, like Harlequin, or I need to be Spider-Man or whatever,
Yeah.
um but I actually more recently, I want to say a couple years ago, I found a site that, because I was like, I want something that it's like versatile and fun, and like I don't have to feel like I have to diet to get into it. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of women's
True.
costumes, right? They tend to be very restrictive in that manner, you know. And I used to love for several years. I would look up. I wonder if I even have any photos. I would look up makeup based. So my costume would really just me being dressed in all black, but then I would have like it would be like a skeleton face, or some kind of elaborate makeup based costume, and those were a lot of fun. But those are also a lot of work, you know. Um, so for a long, long, long time, those were my favorites because I could just toss on like black jeans and a black t-shirt, and then I think I do have some of those costumes. But anyway, now what I did is I went out and I bought like adult onesies, and one of them is one's a unicorn, and that I wore that I think last year, and the year before that it was a bunny, like an oversized bunny. And I want to say the one that I'll probably wear this year is like a thrasher, like a zombie thing. So
I like the onesie costume because it's like low effort, right? Like you don't have to like
oh
do
my
a
god,
whole
yeah.
bunch.
And honestly, like that was kind of, for me, like that was kind of it, because I was like, it just like I really did used to love doing the makeup based ones, but again, it takes like easily 1 to 2 hours to do it right, you know. um
And then you have to remove it at the end of the night.
oh my gosh, no, that's the removing it is like a pain in the butt. Now I found
The
the,
worst.
where is it? I found some of the samples, but they're not the ones um of me, so I'm kind of like, well, you don't care about that. Who knows, maybe I'll do the makeup, and the makeup ones too are better like if you're going to a party and you need to like, you want to like look cool, like they're great for that. And I haven't really gone, we as you well know, we've been so slammed. We've been publishing so many stories, and like right now I'm currently in the middle of editing 2 memoirs, 2 novella anthologies. I just finished editing a short story anthology that I sent to our production manager. So I've got, and I'm supposed to be finishing my own novel. I'm about halfway through editing for that. So, and now I'm gonna have to edit another short story anthology. So I just don't have time to do like fun stuff, if that, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I've been trying to think. I have an ideal Halloween costume,
Okay.
but like I
Okay.
don't know how to procure it. And
Oh,
your weight fluctuates year to year. So,
yeah.
but I just really, really, really want to dress up like somebody in the 70s. Like I want like big bell bottoms and the butterfly collar, and like pick my hair out into some big afro, or get like an afro wig and like
Mhm.
the huge tacky sunglasses, and just be
Oh
like the
my
groovy, like, because I think that's fun, and I think once I find that, that could be like several years in a row of a Halloween costume
Oh,
that
hell
you
yeah.
just like, you kind of always have in the pocket.
Hmm.
And that I like 70s fashion. I think that that's fun.
It is fun.
I think like people will laugh at it. And that it's not like what everyone else is doing. Because I also, when I lived in New York, sometimes there was that like one Halloween that everybody dressed up as Wednesday Addams, and then the next year it was some other like sort of vaguely goth girl, but like that was all like I don't like that like
Oh, yeah.
following the trend.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
brother.
I want to have fun doing it too. Like, I don't want it to just be trendy. I want it to be like something where, like, even just the getting ready part feels fun, you know? Like, I like
Yeah,
anticipating that, if that makes sense. I don't know.
yep, totally. Um, I have two favorite Halloween costumes.
Okay.
Um, one, the first one is like for the kid era, the childhood era, because like
Okay.
that's
Okay.
not you didn't make that costume like your parents made it, but they
Mm.
did really good. So my
Okay. Okay.
mom was like the queen of putting together a Halloween costume based off of stuff that's just around the house, right? And she was
Ooh.
also really good at makeup. So like oftentimes my little sister wanted to be a cat. So my mom would just do her makeup like a cat and construct some things to get like cat ears on her head. And she was like
Yay.
5, 6, 7.
Mm.
Loved it. It was great.
Mm.
But like I never really, I think, cared all that much. But
Mm.
there was one year that my mom, and this is totally not politically correct, but it was hilarious. My mom dressed me up as a clown hobo,
Oh.
like a hobo that lived by the train tracks. Like, and so she stuffed a bunch of pillows into this like men's shirt. I think I was 8, so I was quite small. But she stuffed a bunch of pillows into like the shirts and pants of like a grown man's outfit. So I was also really, really large.
Aw.
And she did the clown makeup, but purposely had like dirt around my hairline and
Mhm.
purposely made it runny and gave me like a small-ish like empty glass liquor bottle that I didn't
Okay.
understand was part of the costume. My mom was like, it's part of the costume. Uh,
Oh my
and
God.
adults got a kick out of it. I also had some kind of hat that was in like disarray, right? And
Okay.
then because it's like hard to walk with all these pillows on you, I'm just kind of like lumbering like a drunk idiot. Um, it was great. And I vaguely remember being not at my school, but somebody else's school. So I think one of my siblings, they had like a school party for Halloween, and I
Mhm.
won the Halloween costume contest
Oh wow, cool.
as the
Okay.
drunk homeless clown.
Oh God. Oh no. I love it.
It was so I wish there were photos because so actually a lot of my family photos, um some of them got our family has bad luck when it comes to photos. Some of our photos got ruined during the flood of 93 in Iowa.
Oh
And
my.
then we had like a storage unit that we forgot to pay or forgot how to pay. So we lost the unit. And so we lost a bunch of family photos. When I moved to California, somebody robbed my luggage. They just like stole my luggage from
Oh
the
my
hotel.
God. Okay.
And it was the luggage that had the last of my childhood photos that I was able to save up until.
Wow. Holy
So
crap.
there's no childhood photo record of me anymore. But I do remember the picture of this drunk hobo costume, and it was really, really funny. I was like it was like so fat, like my arms are out like a T, and I couldn't
Oh
like
my
put them
God.
to the side.
I love you. That's so fucking awesome. I just texted. I'm still dear friends with my childhood friend Heather. She actually, we don't live far from each other, and which is really bizarre because considering we grew up in Camden, New Jersey, and she's now in, I think, North Hollywood, and I'm in University Park, Los Angeles. So the fact that somehow we both ended up on the opposite coast is kind of wild. But I just texted her and asked, like, what was your favorite Halloween costume? So we'll see what she says, because we would go Halloween trick-or-treating together when we were little. So
When you were little, did trick-or-treating mean you could literally go trick-or-treating all night long? Because that's what I remember as a kid.
What I remember as a kid was trick-or-treating was like, it was almost like you had one costume for going to school, and then you had like another costume for when you got home, and you did like a in school, like trick-or-treating parade or Halloween parade. And they would give out like, I was gonna say prizes, but I think it was just more like little knickknacks for all the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also obvious what costumes some teachers preferred over others. If that, and
Yeah.
I remember there was certain streets that you always hit up because they had the best, like not even Halloween candy. It was more of just like little toys and stuff like that. Although I think there was one house that for a couple of years they always gave away regular size Reese's peanut butter cups, and that became like the place that everybody tried to hit up, because if you didn't get it in time to actually get the regular size pack, then like you were just SOL. Like you just weren't going to get it.
In my town, because I grew up in like a small town in Iowa, our mayor would always have king size candy bars. So like on your trick-or-treat, regardless of what neighborhood you lived in, like our mom was like, we're going to the mayor's house to trick-or-treat because he's giving out king size candy bars.
That's awesome.
And there's my mom had 5 kids. I'm 4 out of 5. So like there's this huge station wagon, and it's like the 80s, early 90s with a bunch of kids pulled in there. But we would be able to like trick-or-treating went until the town had no candy anymore. Like you would be out like really, really late. And then our mom would drive us like out into like the rural parts of Iowa where there's not even like towns, but there's just like old country houses, like, on the farm with their lights on, because they have candy, but no one goes out that far. And it looks like, as looking back on it now, is kind of crazy that my mom would do this, because I'm like, that sounds like the beginning of a horror film.
It does.
Like, let me take way, way out of town, like beyond civilization for candy. But these people, they would be so happy to see kids in costumes because they didn't get any trick-or-treaters the whole night, and they would give us all the candy. They would just dump the whole candy bowl. And like there's a couple of years, because we're all small kids, so we had like pillowcases as like our trick-or-treating sacks. But our mom would take us so much that we each had 2 pillowcases full of candy. And we got home and it was like almost midnight. We had to divvy up the candy. And then my mom wouldn't let us eat all of it. And we were like, why did we go through all this work going like 5, 6 counties?
Exactly. Now I remember, by the way, Diane Schneider says in college, roller derby queen on roller skates. That was her favorite. That's actually a pretty dope costume, Diane.
That is a
That
dope
sounds,
costume.
isn't it? I feel like I need to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that just sounds like so much fun.
Also brave to be roller skating on Halloween in college with all the drinking.
Oh yeah, totally, totally.
I would be scared.
For those without context, growing up, so I grew up in East Camden, New Jersey, and at that time, Camden, so South Camden was considered the most like super dangerous, meaning like even the high school had a murder rate. Like, I'm not kidding. And we lived in East Camden, so which Woodrow Wilson, at least as far as I'm aware, did not have a murder rate, but it was still considered one of the more dangerous, lower socioeconomic areas. Let's just put it that way. And so they tried to get you done. What I remember is they would try to get you done whatever was like the safe neighborhoods. Like, so that's why, like the Halloween parade in school was a big deal, because like for some kids, like that was it. Like, you're just getting the Halloween parade, right? And then for us, it was, you got the Halloween parade, and then your parents had you like tote you around before dark, as fast before dark as they could, right? And then, but like everybody had friends outside of the area in more rural areas, right? And so I remember it wasn't every year, but for a lot of years, what the parents would do is they would drive you to a more affluent area or to a more rural area where they knew people, and that's where you would also get like the supersized candy and like the dope toys. And actually you would get, I don't know about you, but like for Christmas, a lot of neighborhoods, like people they do like a real elaborate like lighting, and they'll decorate all their trees outside, blah blah blah. Well, some people do, at least where I grew up, they would do that for Halloween. Excuse me. So like, and we actually do that for Halloween. We decorate our front porch. We have a life-size skeleton that we put it went now. What my husband and I do is, now I have to see if I can find it. I found it while we were talking before. Now I just have to find it again. We have a life-size skeleton that I put him in front of the actual bowl of candy, and I sit him on the front porch. So he's the one that greets the little kids now, and I just sit in a corner, and let the life-size skeleton, take care of business, I guess you could say. But yeah, no, we would do the nighttime trick-or-treating when I was a kid, not in my neighborhood, yeah. Yeah. And which meant you were on like, you had to get through this jammy fast. Like, it was like, hurry up, like almost like speed walk, from one house to another, just so you could get as much candy as you could,
Yeah. We had, like, I remember people would get really, like, my brothers and sisters would get really tired, or I would get really tired, and we would like cry or complain, and then like, but my mom was like, "No, we still have more neighborhoods to go through." And they're like, "We're sleepy. We want to go to bed."
So I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. Hold on. I'm trying. No, it's because I got hold on. Let me turn off the, so you can see it. Let's do this. camera. Oh, no. Visual effects. None. All right. Just what you wanted to see, the back of my office. Okay. So that's the back of we put that out every year.
Heck yeah.
Right. And he has his own Ouija board. And this is the front. See? So he's got the Ouija board in front of him. And now I put out a much bigger bucket of candy, and then because we have a table. Oh, and now this is because he's right in front of our front door. And 1 year I wanted to put him out there for and then so you can see. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to tell.
I can see it. It looks spooky too because it's like right directly underneath the light.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Which, of course, the first year we did this, my husband was like, "This is dope. We're doing it forever." This is so cool. But yeah, that's our front. That's our standard. And this is me in one of my onesie, but this is I think it's Deadpool. And I'm a Deadpool fan, and by some miracle I found a Deadpool costume. So I was like, cool, I'm Deadpool. And this is me as Deadpool. Basically, I'm telling the skeleton off, like, look. And it's actually not my favorite the Deadpool one's not my favorite costume because it's not fun enough. I don't know how to explain it. And here's one of the onesies is a dragon. You can't see it though.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I've tried to dress up as a Dothraki person several times in my life because I speak Dothraki.
Yeah, I know. That would have been awesome. You need to do that. I mean, you need to do that, right?
I've done it at least twice, and I've never been happy with what has come. But I'm not good at like making the costume, except for I guess this. And for people who are listening at home, like I totally need to recommit to the Dothraki costume idea because I speak Dothraki. And so the plan is always you dress up as a Dothraki person and I just go through the whole night talking Dothraki to everybody, which people do not like.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It gets old pretty quick with a lot of folks. But
the
one costume, yeah. Sorry. And it's kind of tricky. I understand why it's tricky because I can like understand people's English. So like I'll speak in Dothraki and they'll say like whatever, and then I'll respond in Dothraki. And like it just is a weird one-sided conversation. So I feel like I get it.
Got it. Okay. All right. It's fine.
But as an adult in college, I had a really great Halloween costume that I did make from just random scraps that were around my college dorm room.
Okay.
And this is before I had like this major beard. So I dressed up.
Which I love, by the way.
And here's the one. I love the beard too. That's the other thing about thinking of Halloween costumes is like, can it work with the beard? How will that work? But anyway, when I was in college, I dressed up as an ancient Egyptian for Halloween. And the Running Wild Press tie here is we published a memoir from Alicia Delory called Something's Better Than Nothing. Yeah, me and Alicia went to college together. So like, and I was with her the night that she met her husband. The whole memoir is about her marriage. I also officiated their wedding. So,
oh my God, I love you. I didn't realize that. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay.
So I'm totally like in the first chapter of the book about how she met her husband. And it was the skimpiest costume ever. So I had like, I don't know how I got this or how I lost it, but it started because I had like a really wide piece of like neck jewelry that
Okay.
if I like placed it further back on my back, it would land about right here. And it was in like a semicircle shape. It did look very Egyptian like. And that was my initial idea. I was like, huh, I can do that. I can wear that. And then build this Egyptian costume from that. So I took a pillowcase, cut it up, and was able to like lay it flat over my ears and whatnot, and that became the like cowl. And if I did it in a specific way, it like had the creases right here, so it looks
Mhm.
kind of like a similar cowl to like what a pharaoh would wear, but it's all white because I
Oh, I
wasn't a
love it.
pharaoh; I was just like an ancient Egyptian.
I love it.
And then I gave myself the eyeliner that like with the
Mhm.
lines out here.
Oh, you would look fabulous with
Put the
that.
necklace on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shirt.
Mhm.
Put some tiny, tiny underwear on, and then cut up a bed sheet. And I also had like a leather piece of like string from like a boot. So cut up the bed sheet, wrapped it around myself in a way that there was like a front fold right in front of the crotch, which is very Egyptian looking, and then tied it with the leather thing, and then
Okay.
put on some like moccasins, and that
Mhm.
was it. So it was
Wow.
like the least amount of clothes I've ever worn in public, probably in my entire life.
Wow.
And I
Okay.
didn't even think it. I kept looking in the mirror and I was like, I do look like what an average person in Egypt probably looked like back in the day. Like, oh, and I also had like a pen and parchment paper. I was like, I'm a scribe. I'm an Egyptian scribe.
Mhm.
Um, and so I was like, okay, this is fine. And so then
Mhm.
I start walking to campus and like I hear all these cars like screech to a halt or like honk their horn. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? But people were like definitely reacting to this like half naked man walking around
Mhm.
that I never thought, like, I was very flattered. I was like, oh wow, like my costume is cool. Years later, when Alicia writes this memoir about her marriage, and I'm in the book in the first paragraph because I introduced her to the man that she ended up marrying. She describes me in the Halloween costume,
Mhm.
and she like gave me an advance copy, and I was like, I read it, I loved it. I was like, Alicia, thank you for making me hot. Like her description of me was like, oh,
So,
thank God.
so for real. Okay. So, Halloween, I don't know about you, but like growing up, especially in my teens and like 20 and onward, there's been like a thing, or there was a thing where like you had to look hot. Like it had to be a costume where you look, like, and the thing is, like, so I am not built what's considered to be like your normal attractive female, right? Like I'm not narrow, and I don't, like I'm very I'm what they call wide framed, if that, you know what I mean? Like, so the way my body carries weight, like I have wider hips than most females. um I'm I'm quite curvy. So even when I'm at my skinniest, I've never been below a size, I'm gonna say a size 10. And I mean, like, starving myself. I've never been below a size 10, and it's because I can't, even at my skinniest, I can't find things that'll uh fit my hips, and actually even fit my like this is called TMI, so you're watching the live stream, so it's not. um I actually, my bra size is between a 36D and a 38 double D, depending on the what do you call it, the brand. And so, and just for context, like in American, like, beauty, most attractive females are somewhere between like a 32 and maybe like a 34, 36. 36 is still considered pretty high, you know?
Yeah.
And then usually like cup size, it's usually like a B to like a D, right? So I'm like far beyond what's considered, you know, attractive. So when I was a teenager, I just felt all this pressure to wear something that was like the roller derby queen, right? With like, you know, 70s hot pants and, you know, the like the whole 9 yards. And either I just couldn't fit in it, right? Or I would have to wear like 2 or 3 uh um stockings that do like suck in your fat just to get me into like an XL or a large, usually an XL, and then pray that I wouldn't get like made fun of or you know what have you. And then there just came a point where I decided, you know what, I don't care. I'm just gonna, you know, wear whatever I want to wear, and you know, just kind of go, like just be comfortable with me. Because like honestly, like I went through a solid, I want to say 6, 8 years where like I couldn't find any jeans that would fit me until like the American market uh actually started coming out with stretch pants that were actually stretch.
Mm.
Because you could not for years and years and years, and I know Teehee knows what I'm talking about. For years and years and years, the American market, like it just didn't exist. It really more so just went for like the you had to be teeny, you know, and I just that was is not how my body shaped. I mean, and it was not fun. I don't.
How
What did
most people's bodies are shaped. Like
you?
the majority of people aren't that skinny thing, and it's upsetting
That's
that the fashion industry is like that. But it's another thing I like about Halloween is like when you like just throw away abandon and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go out in like a super short skirt as like a thick, hairy, brown-haired man. Like I did as it's like my little like Egyptian loincloth thing went only just past the underwear I was wearing. So it was kind of like wearing, but like had the most fun that night. Introduced 2 people who fell in love and got married that night, you know, like not
my
that
God,
night,
I
but
love it.
eventually. And just like it was a fun party. There was so many crazy things that happened at that party. Somebody showed up dressed as a robot, but they spray painted themselves and had an allergic reaction to the spray paint. So then spent like half the night of the party like in the shower.
I was gonna say, oh my God, I love it, but the second part, no. Oh my, excuse me.
Yeah, she ended up being fine. We joked that like her secondary costume was like the ghost of the bathroom because she had to
Aw.
like rinse all the spray paint off of in the shower, but people kept using the bathroom, so she kept talking to everyone.
Oh my God, that poor thing. um,
Yeah, she was fine.
and I want to put this out there. So, guys, we just actually extended the deadline that if you wrote a lycanthrope or a werewolf short story, you are welcome to submit it to a short story anthology that is tied into my Cure Werewolf series. So originally the deadline was the end of September, and because I had a couple people say, "Oh my God, I have something for you, but I have a couple things I want to do." Um, all good. We extended it to October 17th. So wanted to first put that one out there. Um, the second thing I wanted to put out there is that if you are watching this and do what Diane is doing, put in the comment section your favorite costume. Tell us like what you loved, or feel free to talk to us as a part of this dialogue, because we love hearing from you guys. So that was the two big. And I want to repeat. So
Yep.
Diane said this is super adorable. Well, adorable, and oh my God, like Teehee, wait till you hear this. She says, my mother used to make my pants in high school and in college because we couldn't buy anything that fit. And I mean, like, oh my God, Diane, like, it's funny growing up. My mother, her sister was a beauty queen. And I believe in high school, in high school, and her parents had this like ideal vision of what beauty should be. And my mother, like, I'm 5'7", and I'm built very similar to my mother. Well, her sister was like 5'1" and super petite. So, what's a shame is that instead of saying, oh, we'll love all body types, like, she was basically ostracized and told that she had to starve herself to try and be whatever was considered the ideal beauty for a beauty queen, And so unfortunately my parents, that got carried over to me. And I just decided at one point, and fuck this shit. I don't care. Like, I know I'm a good person. So if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass, But anyways, Teehee, what are your thoughts on Diane's note? Like, that's pretty big. That's huge.
Yeah, I wished I learned how to make my own clothes, because at certain points in time, I could not find things in stores either. I was going to say, I was 15 when I decided, rather than to like starve myself or work out at a gym, I was just going to do the hard mental work of being okay with the fact that my body is not the beauty standard. And in part, I kind of did it out of laziness, because I was like, I don't want to go to the gym. I'm tired. And like, I don't want to diet. I don't have the self-discipline. So I'll do the harder emotional work because it was more convenient for me.
So I was actually on a reality show. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Diane's like, the school bullies would yell Jolly Green Giant at me. Oh my God, what evil. No. That's just not.
Kids are terrible.
Isn't it terrible? Honestly, if our societal acceptances and our societal what's considered norm or attractive, if we would just become more of a society that's more accepting of different types of beauty, this would not be nearly as a challenge as it is, But like, so
I would also say.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. No, do it.
Because another thing I've noticed too, as like a gay man of size, like going around community, it's not that everyone thinks that your body is horrible. Like, people are attracted to all different kinds of bodies. It's whether or not people admit that in public or will celebrate that in public. But it's the celebrating part that is still very important.
Yes.
Which is also why, weirdly, conversely, my favorite Halloween costumes as an adult have always been the ones that are like the least amount of clothing covering up my body. But again, Halloween is about being like free and open. And
I'm always shocked. Well, actually, I can't say I'm always shocked. When I was like, I didn't have my first boyfriend till I was like 17. And because I've always been like the nerd, like I've always been in the top 1 or 2% of, remember those intelligence tests or placement tests, what they call them? Yeah. So I always scored in like the top 1 or 2%. So for me, that was my identity, was more around like intelligence. And I just chose that nothing around like physical beauty. And I just came to the conclusion, like, I'm like, well, I'll never get married and never have a boyfriend, and that's okay. And that was just because I got ostracized so much. I was made fun of so much. And what people always focused on was like, oh my God, you're so smart. And which, like, I'll be honest, like, I don't know what I'm saying or doing that's emoting that. Like, to me, it's just like, look, I'm just being me, like, and if the perception is that somehow that makes me a super genius, okay, that's, cool. I have no idea what it is, but but sure. But like, honestly, when I was like, so Heather and I were on this reality show, what I lovingly call one of the first reality shows, called Dance Party USA, and also on Dancing on Air. And Dancing on Air was based out of Philly, and Dance Party USA was on the USA Network. And I lost, oh my God, some crazy amount of weight while we were on there. And they did like a special segment interviewing me about losing weight. And oh my God, Teehee, I broke down crying live on the air because the host asked me questions that, like, because we did talk about what our questions would be, so that I would be prepared. And like, I knew he would ask me stuff that would be on the fly. And he asked me something like, so what is it like to be like ostracized all the time? And that was one of those like on the fly questions. And it's like, I mean, I didn't know I was going to cry. Like, I seriously broke down crying. Right. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to, do that, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, I can't explain what it's like when, you go shopping for clothes, like school clothes, the day before, and you can't find anything that fits you. And you've starved yourself for months. But you just, like, going to any of the standard, like juniors size stores, nothing will fit. Yeah. And then the next day you go into school and people are mocking you. And also I had to have, when I was 9, I literally died on the operating table, and I had to have, I was in the ICU for basically a summer. And I have massive, really, really significant scarring from that period. And the thing is that, like, anything that has zippers in the front, it would indent like this in the front. And so kids would ostracize me because they would see that and they were like, what do you have, 2 butts? And then not having any idea, like, I couldn't change into clothes. I had to go into like a bathroom stall to change into like gym clothes, like all that, and Teehee, seriously, I want to say like 3 months later, they were like, oh my God, I think this is for you. And it turned out they got a flooding of fan mail from kids who saw that episode and who completely associated with it. And the people who managed the fan mail in the main office, they didn't know who Lisa was. So they never actually sent it in, And then I forget, something happened where I think actually the host, Andy Geary, at the time was like, oh, that's Lisa Kastner. You need to, this is who all that goes to, And I came in, I went into there was like a central area where all the regulars would go for their, fan mail. And normally I would get like this little pack, of like, I don't know, 10, 15 letters, something like that. And it was like these 4 big mail bags of fan mail
Whoa.
that I had no idea, like no idea. And I felt so bad for real, because when I got them home, some of them were actually kids asking, why won't you answer me? I keep emailing,
Oh
I keep emailing
no.
you, and you're not responding. And it was only because I never saw the mail, you know? And again, it was just because these
Yeah.
guys didn't know who it was. But, you know, back to the whole, like, Halloween was like the one time where you could be anything and anyone you wanted to be. And it didn't matter, you know? It didn't matter. Your
Mhm.
size didn't matter. How you looked didn't matter, you know? What people's perceptions of you didn't matter. You could just be, you know?
Yeah. I That's why Halloween is my favorite holiday. And it's also fun to see everybody else's creativity too. Because like I
Mm,
do think there's something really special about like I'm in a costume and everyone else is also in a costume, and it's like it's obvious because throughout most of our lives we wear like mental emotional costumes, but to
mm,
like put it all out there and everybody else is also putting it all out there, and you're
mm.
like, you see like the giraffe is like having drinks with like Zorro or what, like it's
Oh, yeah.
just
Oh my
cool to
God.
see
It's
like
so fun.
everybody. Yeah, all the different weird combinations of everything. One thing I will say, as we close out, because we're getting close to the top of the hour. So
That's right.
now I live in Mexico, but I live in Puerto Vallarta, which has a lot of a big American community.
Mm,
But Mexico has its own traditions around Halloween. Not Halloween itself, but Dia de los Muertos,
mm,
which is so much bigger than Halloween. Halloween can be incorporated, it can like fit in, but Dia de los Muertos is actually like several days long of a celebration. And like a friend of mine told me this, and I was like, this is exactly what it is. It's like Death Christmas. It is like
yeah.
a whole week of celebrating death and everyone who's died. So you have like, and right before you can do Halloween, and then the next day you do Day of the Dead. You go to the cemeteries. You make like your own ofrenda in your house. This year, for the
Mm,
first time, I'm making my own ofrenda with my boyfriend. Which weirdly, a lot of people I know died this year, so there's going to be a lot of people on it.
oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
but like, I think it's cool because like for several years down here, I've had like the most amazing Halloween experiences because you have the fun of dressing up in the costumes and everything. And then
Mm,
you have the next day, like the Dia de los Muertos parade. You have like the quiet time of reflecting, like everyone you've lost throughout your life, but then all the
mm,
big celebration of like family and the fact
mm,
that like the whole city celebrates. Because, like, unlike in the United States, like Mexico goes really hard on
mm,
holidays.
mm.
Like they're they're everywhere. They're out in the street, and like you
I
can't
love it.
opt out of any holiday in Mexico. Like it's happening to you, whether you want it to or not. um, but yeah, so like I get really excited, like a person gets excited for Christmas. Now I get excited for Halloween and Dia de
Mm,
los Muertos.
mm,
For Death Christmas is what I call it.
mm.
Yeah.
So, Diane says, Lisa, heartwarming that so many identify with you. Honestly, I'm just happy because back then, I mean, this was back in the late 80s. Let's pretend it was not, but yeah, so it was back in the late 80s. And back then, I mean, you did not have, unlike now, where we actually do have cultural figures who are of various shapes and sizes, and it's accepted, right? And not only is accepted, in some cases, it's glorified. We didn't really have that. Like everybody, like you had to
Yeah.
be a supermodel, and supermodels were all like, 6 feet tall and a size one, right? So I'm just so happy and honestly honored to have been the person that other people felt like, they're not alone. You know, like to me, that was huge. And for years and years and years, actually, I stayed pen pals with quite a few people just because I just, you know, I felt like if I can be that person, if I can help someone else through those difficult periods, like I'm down. So,
Heck yeah.
heck yeah. All right. And with that, to Tihi's point, are we over? I think we're over. So, as always, fab, fab, fab. We always have such a blast. Diane, thank you so much for joining us in the convo. Guys, seriously, don't forget that. Always remember you are more than welcome. Please join us. Don't forget, tomorrow also is another Run Wild with us. Ask us anything. And be sure to check us out then, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Ask us whatever the hell you want. We are completely down. So with that, we will let you go. Teehee, as always, fab, fab, fab. See you next month. Guys, love to you always. And ciao.